am calling this meeting to order at 2 o'clock. Natalie, can I get land acknowledgement, please?
Associated Students Incorporated at Sacramento State would like to take a moment to give honor and respect to the ancestors and to the diverse indigenous people connected to this territory on which we meet. The original stewards of this land belong to Nishnong, Patween, and Miwok Native Americans. Keep them in your mind, carry them in your hearts, and we ask that you take a moment to consider your ancestors and your relationship to the land we are on. Thank you.
Thank you. Selma, can I get the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do we have a moment of silence? Okay, no moment of silence. Lisa, can I get roll call?
Thank you. Pacheco,
Present.
De La Garza Garcia,
Here.
Kudani,
Here.
Estrella,
Present.
Andrade Dominguez,
Present.
Ayukulon,
Present.
Nick Dow,
Here.
Panchel,
Here.
Campbell,
Here.
Beltran,
Here.
Lolis,
Here.
Maria,
Here.
Hurst. Present.
Carroll,
Here.
Curry,
Here.
Gallardo,
Here.
Montalvo,
Here.
Gardner,
Here.
Guerrero,
Here.
Gill,
Present.
Reyes,
Here.
Dunning,
Here.
Dalton, Rocha.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to move to the approval of minutes of 028-2023 board meeting, 02-15-2023 working board meeting, and at 02-15-2023 special board meeting. If there are no objections, minutes will be approved. Okay, seeing none, the minutes have been approved. Now we're going to move to public comment. Members of the audience may address the board on any item within the jurisdiction of the board or on any agenda item. If you wish to address the board, please sign the speaker identification sheet. When you are called upon to speak, step forward to the podium and state your name clearly for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes and the overall time is 15 minutes. Those wishing to speak on a non-agenda item will be called upon at the beginning of the meeting. Those wishing to speak for or against an agenda item will be called upon after the item has been officially introduced to the board. Every agenda item will be open for public comment before the board takes formal action on the item. And then there was, for board awareness, there was 3 public comments that were distributed to the board via email, so please check your emails. Those were distributed to you, that they were distributed to you this week. Okay, if at this time, if there's any public comment, you can step forward to the podium and sign the speaker identification sheet, and then state your name to the microphone, clearly for the record.
Is the sign-up sheet right?
Yes. You may speak into the mic, please.
Hello everyone, my name is Robert Gonzalez. I'm also a student organizer and union leader here at Sac State with the California State University Employee Union, representing thousands of students who are forming a union at Sacramento State and beyond on other college campuses. One issue that I wanted to bring up is the recent attacks on our campus, or the recent injustices on our campus involving white nationalists and people who are spreading neo-Nazism on our campus and, promoting themselves with photos like this. This right here is what we call white nationalism, racism, sexism, and every other ism that you can probably find yourself in the dictionary. This is an issue because not only this is our only sole student body here with voices for over 30,000 students at Sac State. And so I am here formally requesting that ASI, the sole student government body here on campus, call this out. You know, I know there's probably some legal issues that I heard that, you know, ASI is a nonprofit, they, you know, can't take a stance. Y'all endorse Prop 1. Proposition 1 is for abortion enshrined in our Constitution. Why can't we call this out? All it takes is advocacy and a simple, you know, resolution. I don't know how long that takes and the bureaucracy side of stuff, but it needs to be called out, now. With the rest of my time, I also want to say, as you'll hear from my colleagues and student activists in the Student Quality for Education, aligned with the California Faculty Association, Timely MD is great, right? 24/7 access is great for students here, not only at Sac State, but across the CSU system. But what's wrong is it's a faith-based counseling involved, which is horrible. As a pro-labor person, as a student organizer, organizing students to unionize, this is an issue when we hire non-union counselors and not invest in our tenured counselors. We need long-term solutions, not short-term ones. We need to be proactive, not reactive. We need counselors who look like us, counselors who support us, and most importantly, who stand with us and stay with us, who are unionized, whether you agree with CFA or not. This is something that's for the students, pro students, and only for students. So, you know, this is a labor issue, this is a BIPOC issue, this is a queer issue. We need to get to the bottom of this, go to the negotiation table. We can say what we want on social media, we can post on Twitter, you know, comments, and we can send long emails all we want, but at the end of the day, what matters is our action. Actions mean more than words. Let's get to the bottom of this, and let's come to the negotiation table. Let's support students' rights to unionize. Let's support students' rights for counseling services that aren't pro-Christian.
Thank you. That concludes your 3 minutes. At this time, if there is any more public comment, you may step up to the podium and sign the speaker identification sheet and state your name clearly for the record.
Hi, my name is Juliana LeClaire, and I'm a third-year international relations student here at Sac State. I'm here today to address the concern of the contract with Timely MD. Our campus should be addressing the mental health needs of our students with effective resources. This could easily be accomplished by hiring permanent counselors on a tenure track. Rather than providing quality care for students, we have gone with a company that operates with little accountability in their hiring standards. To quote Dr. Susan Chen, chair of CFA's Counselors Committee, ceding the hiring and vetting process of our counselors to a company like Timely MD is a recipe for disaster. Students at Humboldt State University have already began to be negatively impacted by these services, with one student being asked by a Timely MD counselor, "Have you considered Jesus Christ?" Do you believe that this is appropriate coming from a counselor? In order for students to thrive, they need to be supported in counseling conditions that are adequate and understanding. I was informed before this meeting that the ASI board will not be breaking this contract. I hope that in time, this is something that you will reconsider in order to protect students' mental health. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, if there's any more public comment, you may step forward to the podium.
Hello.
Can I have you sign the speaker identification sheet first? Thank you.
I got you. All right, y'all. Hi, friends and comrades. So along with some other folks that we have here, I came also to talk about Timely MD, but sorry. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Jenny Ruiz Sanchez. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a fourth year ethnic studies major, and I'm also a student organizer here on campus. I work with Students for Quality Education, so essentially SQE, and we also work alongside CFA, so like labor union here. And so I also want to speak on Timely MD. I'm sure most of us know it's a telehealth service meant to provide 24/7 access to physical and mental health care to students throughout various CSU campuses here. So it offers faith-based counseling through contracted counselors, and many universities contract with TemyMD to again offer these 24/7 hour services to students. But this convenience comes at a major cost to the well-being of students and faculty. The first thing that I want to touch on is queer and trans issues. Again, repeating myself, it is a faith-based counseling service, and those counselors we're hearing from like folks already from Humboldt State, they're very harmful. It's very traumatic. And you know, there's also no accountability for these counselors that we are seeing. And you know, that just perpetuates more harm. We have this cycle of, you know, again, like this no accountability, and then they're just like continuing to see other students and kind of pushing the same narrative. So I don't think that's helpful. And we need counselors who will be held accountable for the harm that they actually cause. Next, I know some folks have also touched on the fact that it's a labor issue. Hiring non-union counselors instead of investing in tenured university counselors that represent students, that look like students, that understand where students are coming from, I think is a big issue as well. And so we need, again, like repeating myself, Black, Indigenous communities of color and queer counselors that, again, represent students and are able to support them without, you know, having the students fear any discrimination. So I think, where were they going with this? Oh, that tuition and student fees are directly funding our harm. And I just like want to put that out there, that a bunch of student voices here, you know, we're coming right to y'all and asking y'all that like, not to push through with this, because we're seeing what's happening at Humboldt State. And it's just like, it's not cool. Like I'm fearing for my friends, I'm fearing for me. And so yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there any more public comment? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move forward. We have next on our agenda, we have a special presentation by Ms. Erica Brown, the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. And fun fact, Ms. Erica used to be a board member, so welcome.
I'll just sign the paper.
Yes,
That
please.
was on there. But hi everyone, my name is Erica Brown. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the area director for the Greater Sacramento Central Valley chapters of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, or as I'll be sharing from here on out, AFSP. And just really excited and honored to have some of your time, to have the time of the students that are here as well as watching the video, share more about this organization that you all are supporting through the Out of the Darkness block here at Sac State happening on April 6th. So I do have some notes here and also have recognized some familiar faces from a presentation that Lexa invited me to be a part of too, and really cool just to see students coming into these board meetings, because I don't remember as many students coming into our board meetings, so I just thought it was really cool to see that activity here at our board meeting. So I know it says volunteer orientation on here. Unfortunately, I can't change anything on the slide, but definitely this is just an overview. I'm not expecting you all to become volunteers unless you want to. So we'll just get on started. Make sure hopefully this all works. Perfect. So here is our agenda today, about AFSP, why we fight for the cause, how we fight for the cause, and at the local level. So we'll talk more about your Greater Sacramento chapter here. So about AFSP, our mission simply is to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide. So if anyone were to ask you, what does AFSP do? That is literally what you can share with them. And we are a voluntary health organization. We rely heavily on volunteers. We're very grassroots in everything that we do. So grassroots that I'm the sole staff person for this position and for all that we do. So we really do, need that help and support of individuals who want to support what we're trying to accomplish. And we're empowered by research, education, advocacy. So AFSP was founded over 35 years ago by a group of researchers and loss survivors, and then today we're still an organization with scientists and loss survivors, but anyone can join us in the fight against suicide. These are our core values: passion, community, harmony, impact, well-being, and we share this because it's really important that if we have a common goal, we have common values as well. It makes it a lot easier to work together, and we also share about these values within our staff structure through our daily update emails, so we're always talking about these type of things within our team internally. So AFSP today, we're the leading national nonprofit dedicated to suicide prevention. We're the largest private funder of suicide prevention research, which leads us to delivering evidence-based programs throughout the country, and we engage those personally affected mental health experts, research, and community leaders like all of you. And important to know what we do not do. So we are not the crisis center, we are not the lifeline, we are not 988, but we totally get that all the time, so it's nothing new for us. And quite frankly, we don't do any intervention or any direct services here at AFSP. We also don't run our own support groups for loss survivors, but we do maintain a database on our website for those that need that support. And when we're talking about loss survivors, we're talking about those that have lost someone to suicide. And this is just like you all have a board structure, we do too. So we also have our own board of directors, both nationally and locally, and then we do have a variety of committees to help us deliver out our mission. And we know we can't do this work alone, so this is a slide with all of our partnerships nationally and locally. I'm sure we've grown this list since this PowerPoint presentation has been put together, but you might recognize some names like Trevor Project, Drug Foundation, NAMI, SAMHSA, Crisis Text Line, etc. And everyone's biggest question when I am a fundraiser is how much of the funds go directly back to the work that we do. 83% of every dollar, so 83 cents of every dollar goes directly back into our mission, which I think is a very, very impactful number. So why we fight for the cause? We know that mental health is better understood and there's more collaboration and consensus on what we can do to help save lives. Suicide is also a leading cause of death in the US and globally, killing over 48,000 Americans each year. It's the second leading cause of death for those 10 to 34, and the third leading cause of death in California for those 10 to 24. And it's estimated that for every death by suicide, there are 25 attempts. So that's more than 1 million people each year who survive a suicide attempt. And while the national suicide rate lowered in 2020 to 13.48 per 100,000, California's rate also lowered in 2020 to 9.98 per 100,000. And I do recognize we do have CDC 2021 data numbers. We just haven't been given all of those details quite yet, so we are still utilizing 2020 CDC information at this time. And while it's a leading cause of death, it can be prevented, and together we can educate ourselves on what to look for and encourage those struggling to seek help. And we do a Harris poll every couple of years, and we recently did one. So people want to help and believe they can. 94% of Americans would do something 94% of Americans think suicide is preventable, and 83% of Americans would do something to help someone close to them if they were thinking about suicide. So in this next section, we'll walk you through the ways that AFSP makes our mission possible. And I always share that I wish on my first day at AFSP I went through this presentation because I'm a visual person, and this would have just helped me to understand the many working pieces of AFSP. So we're going to dive into all of these different areas, but definitely encourage you to check out our website, afsp.org, because there's a lot more information than what you'll be shared with today. So of course, we support research. We fund research grants, gather researchers to create community, and share out research findings through conferences in our Research Connection program. We're the largest private funder of suicide prevention research, giving out millions of dollars each year, and this research informs the work we do and the programs we create. And our current research priorities are diversity, technology, and survivors of suicide loss. And of course, you can find more information on our research on our website, afsp.org/research. There's also some great videos there. So if you are a visual person like me, I think those videos are really great to break down like the research that we've done to bite-sizable pieces for people like you and me. And through our research and work with our partners, we've created several unique prevention education programs that target different demographics and aim to support mental health and suicide prevention at all ages. I think in the future, we're going to do a Talk Saves Lives presentation with you all, so that will be really awesome and exciting. But it's also a presentation that any student, organization on campus, or if you're a part of things outside of campus, like your workplace, it's a totally free presentation, and we would love to bring it to you. Our Talk Saves Lives have modules for the LGBTQ community, workplace, seniors, and recently announced Latinx and Hispanic communities. And we also know coming down the pipeline, hopefully sometime this year, one for veterans as well as Black and African American communities. So also any of you could become a presenter for that, which I think would be really cool to share with your colleagues and your peers. We also have It's Real for college students in mental health. It's a program that features like a 30-minute film with a 30-minute facilitated discussion. So that is a great program I'd love to bring to campus, or really, quite frankly, anywhere in our chapter. And then More Than Sad on that screen is more directed to our high school student age, and we do have an It's Real for high school students too. But of course, we have way more than just those 3 programs that you saw listed there. So we have a link on our website that I will send to Lisa and Laura, and if they want to send out all these links so you all can check them out later, feel free. But we do have some other community programs, and we'll talk about some of those throughout the presentation as well. And we've also created a ton of brochures and other print material that support the work that we do. I did bring both in English and Spanish some of these brochures. It's not the ones on the screen, but just so you all have something to take away about AFSP today. But we can also mail some to you, so you can have them on hand in your ASI office or with any of your community partners on campus. And also some of these materials are available in Spanish too. So afsp.org/Voices of Hope will take you to an unscripted video series focusing on those who have lived experience, or how we refer to those who have personally experienced suicidal ideation or behavior. We also have 2 new programs that focus on those with lived experience. I'm actually attending one tomorrow, so we can bring that program to our chapter. So those videos are really cool for anyone that might want to just connect with someone that has a story kind of similar to them. And we know that in addition to working on our prevention efforts, we need to be here as a resource for our lost survivor community. And while we're not a support group, we do provide one-time phone calls, video chats, or meetings connecting survivors to one another. That is our Healing Conversations program. You just go to our website, fill out a form, and our national team will work to connect you with a fellow AFSP volunteer that's been in a similar kind of situation as you were. We also use that time to let folks know more about the resources available to them, both locally as well as nationally. Then each year we hold events throughout the state for International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day, or Survivor Day. It's always the Saturday before American Thanksgiving, so this year November 18th. We hold activities to bring healing and support to the lost community, and we actually hosted that event on campus last year. So we'd love to, have that event again on campus, but I would love to have it just for students versus the whole community. So I have some goals. We also do have some materials in the loss and healing side as well. Some of these are also available in Spanish, and then some of these are also available as digital booklets. Like last year, there was a local high school that experienced suicide loss, and I was able to text them. The principal, thankfully, I knew that a toolkit for schools after a suicide. So if you do, come across that, we do have some resources that you can already direct folks to. And look, advocacy and public policy, perfect for you all. So locally and nationally, we advocate for smarter mental health policies, which included the passage of 988, that 3-digit suicide prevention lifeline number that recently went into effect last July. And in our opinion, the easiest way to get involved with AFSP is to sign up to become a field advocate. You're the first to hear about our advocacy initiatives and come together to use our collective voice when called upon. So you can check out more information at afsp.org/takeaction. And it's cool to become a field advocate because one, you get to work with me a little bit, but two, we send field advocates from across the country to Washington, D.C. to advocate in person. That is our advocacy forum, and it's going to be in person finally again this year. The last 3 years have been virtual, so very exciting. And locally, we hold state capitol days in Sacramento each spring, so right here in our backyard. And we will actually be having, unfortunately it's a Wednesday, but our state capitol day event is Wednesday, March 15th at the California Museum, which is like right across from where the swing space is downtown. So if you're interested or know of any students that would like to be a part of that, we provide breakfast, lunch, and an ice cream social. So it is a really cool, awesome event. It'll be my first time attending, so I'm really excited to be able to advocate for mental health policies. And this is our state level data for California, again, CDC 2020 numbers. However, if you go to afsp.org/state facts or statistics, you will find an updated state fact sheet as soon as our team is able to develop those. You can find other state fact sheets as well as our national fact sheet too. So moving on from advocacy, just want to touch on our interactive screening program, or ISP. This program was started in colleges as a way for schools to reach a large number of people at one time. It's a 100% anonymous questionnaire that identifies risk factors for a variety of mental health conditions. In return, each person who fills out the survey gets a personalized response back from a mental health professional at the school with support and next steps to take. And we've seen it implemented in not just school systems, but law enforcement agencies, medical schools, and a variety of workplaces. And from the follow-up we've done, 3 out of the 4 people who enter treatment would not have likely have done so. So I don't know if Sac State is quite utilizing our ISP program, but definitely could be something you all could consider looking at our student health counseling services. And here it is, our biggest fundraisers of the year and what makes AFSP's mission truly possible, on top of course, the groundwork of our volunteers is our Out of the Darkness walks. So as you can see, we have a few different types of Out of the Darkness walks. So in the springtime is when we host our campus walks, such as the one at Sac State. We heard UC Davis might be bringing theirs back this year too, which is pretty exciting. And then in the fall season, so if maybe students or staff, faculty are busy on April 6th, or maybe it's just not quite the right time for them, we do have walks called community walks in the fall. So Sacramento, Placer County in Auburn, and Lassen County in Susanville. And then our national team also hosts these really awesome overnight walks. That sounds like exactly how it is. It's about a 18 mile walk overnight. And that will be on June 3rd in Washington, D.C. this year. So if you're really ambitious, I've heard this is one of the coolest walk locations because all the monuments are all lit up at night. And these events are large and powerful, and they bring together people with lived experience, loss survivors, and other supporters to show how we're not alone and stronger together. So of course, gotta throw in some pictures. I'm a picture gal, used to be a photography major before I switched to communications. So this is just some photos of last year's walk experience. So of course, President Nelson is a huge supporter, and this is his last year, as you all know. So we really want to make this a big walk just in honor of him and his wife. But it was really amazing, and we were recognized as the number 10 campus walk across the country as well. So that photo in the top left is your walk chair from last year, Laura Falkenstein, and the Student Health Counseling Services with my COO, Mike Lama, and our National Walks Chair, Meredith Henning, who actually lives in the Bay Area, which is cool. So yeah, we'll be doing tabling on campus leading up to April 6th, so definitely encourage students to come by. There's an example of what our tables look like. We have lots of different resources that students can take for free and pick up. And here's Jessica, another plug for the walk. If you would like to join us and you're available, it'll begin at 4 o'clock with registration and our resource fair and other activities. You'll want to pick up your honor beads, and those honor beads represent everyone's connection to the AFSP mission. So you can see those individuals in the photo are wearing some honor bead colors. And then at 5:30 is when our ceremony and walk will begin, so we'll be featuring some student speakers. I'm sure President Nelson will be talking as well. And then we'll do the walk, which goes from the well to the residence halls and back. So students can come for everything. They can come just for the resource fair. They can come just for the walk. So definitely encourage you all to share about this really great event. So moving on from there, just talking about some of our mental health communication and wanting to touch on some global campaigns that one of them is my personal favorite and a favorite of a lot of my volunteers. But you can see here, we've partnered in the communications realm with social media applications, mental health organizations, major production studios, so we're proud to have a seat at the table with some of these major names. This is the one I mentioned about a lot of my volunteers absolutely love this campaign. So Seize the Awkward was designed to empower young adults 16 to 24 to engage in discussing mental health with those they care about. So you can give them a follow, of course, on Instagram and TikTok at Seize the Awkward, or visit their website, seizetheawkward.org. And they also announced that our event last month that they are going to have a focus on the LGBTQIA+ and BIPOC communities, which if you only scroll like only a few months back, you can see the total difference of that kind of campaign look. So really excited about that, and they have a great PSA on the Ad Council YouTube account too that you can potentially share out to your constituents. We also have Real Convo, a public service campaign we started to encourage everyone not to be afraid of having an authentic conversation around mental health. And this is a practical guide that anyone can access at afsp.org/realconvo. It gives you like 5 different steps and some questions on kind of how to tackle that area, because I get a lot of times like, I don't know what to say, like what's the right thing to say? And there's not really like one perfect right thing to say really for anyone. So I think that guide is really helpful in maybe guiding any of you or any students and staff on how to have that conversation with someone that they're concerned about. And here are more of our materials right here. I brought these ones, and they're really cool, if I didn't already mention it, but they turn into a poster. So if you would like to, Mark, pass these down so you all can grab one. It also talks about what AFSP does, in case you just need a refresher on it, but feel free to let me know if you might be interested in any of those other resources. Especially our speaking out about suicide. Really important that we're talking about suicide in a safe way. We talk about like not to say committed suicide, we want to say died by suicide, killed themselves. So just some of those important parts when sharing stories about suicide. And we do have a bold goal to reduce the rate of suicides 20% by 2025. So in 10 years, we want our rate to go from 13.26 deaths per 100,000 to 10.3, which would be the lowest it's been in over 30 years. And I do recognize the 2021 CDC numbers did say there was an increase in suicide deaths in 2021, but I know AFSP feels very strongly that we can turn that around. So one important question you're probably wondering is how are we going to do that? We have only a couple years left. So these are the 4 areas where we know we can have a large impact if we're able to connect with the community and have investment from these partners. So the firearms population, healthcare systems, emergency departments, and correction systems. And they have Project 2025, a really awesome website that you can visit at project2025.afsp.org. So that is what AFSP does overall, but just want to bring it down to the local level, or what we call the chapter level. So we have chapters of AFSP in all 50 states, Washington, D.C., and we also have now established a chapter in Puerto Rico, which I think is really cool. This is our division map, so our chapters are divided into 5 divisions, so you all are part of the Western Division, or as we like to say, the Bestern Division. And our chapters are the heart of our organization, and locally we engage volunteers to carry out our mission to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide. And California actually is divided into 7 chapters. So the Greater Sacramento chapter serves 19 counties that you see highlighted there in the yellow. And then, fun fact, I oversee the Central Valley in the red, so all the way down to Kern County, Bakersfield, which is really cool. And this is me. This is more of a slide for the situation when I'm not here, but I help to, with really everything in the chapter. I help board directors just like you, we do something like this too. And then there's my board of directors. We just had our annual meeting a couple weekends ago, so you can see their beautiful faces there. And if you wanted like an overview snapshot of what our year will most likely look like this year in terms of just our major events, that is all of our events that we have planned so far. We will also have a pretty robust May Mental Health Awareness Month in September, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And we do host those Top Slaves Lives, More Than Sad, It's Real, all throughout the year, and it's all really based on, you all or your students and staff reaching out to us and just letting us know that they're interested, and then we can set up that presentation. Like I think I'm setting one up with the Psychology Society right now, which is really awesome. And that's pretty much it. That's like our volunteer opportunities. We don't have to stick on there. But again, just kind of a review, again, with photos of what our year looked like last year. There's kind of some duplicates in here, but just love to show the faces of our organization because it really takes a village to make all of this possible. So this was the first half of 2022. And here is like the second half of 2022 with some of our different events that we had, and our speakers for the Sacramento Walk Downtown. We have a long-term survivors of suicide loss conference that we host every other year, and Robin Williams' was actually the speaker at our event this year, which was really cool for the attendees that got to be there. In our chapter leadership conference event, if you become a board member, you can have a chance to attend this to meet AFSP volunteers from across the country. So the ones that are located in the middle were our attendees for our Greater Sacramento chapter this year. So just to sum things up, these are all the different ways to get involved. If you would like to do something more beyond the Sac State Walk, reach out to me whenever you're ready. We're also a growing nonprofit, so if you are interested in this type of work, definitely stay tuned to our careers page, because hopefully my chapter will be getting some growth in the next few years when you all will be probably graduating. So it definitely is really awesome and rewarding work, and you get to work from home, so that's always really cool as well. But just thank you all so much for giving me this opportunity to share more with you all. Again, I was a previous director of arts and letters and then executive vice president. So it's always really thrilling to see the faces of the current board of directors and just cheer you on in your roles, because I know there's a lot and you do other things on top of this, like your schoolwork and your job. So I just appreciate all that you do for the students here at Sac State, because you will truly make a difference, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. You definitely are, doing some incredible work. So if you happen to have questions, I can do my best to answer them. I'm not from the mental health side, so I do my best on those ends, but if you have any other questions.
Terry?
Thank you so much. I did suicide hotline when I was in college, so I trained then, so I know how important this work is. I do have a question, more logistical question. One is, are most of the statistics up on your website and that information available on the website?
Correct.
Okay.
If you go, to our website, afsp.org, I can't remember the short URL off the top of my head, but there's some drop-down menus at the top, and there's one that should say like statistics and facts.
And the one slide you had with the statistics about how many per 100,000, was that inclusive of the age 10 to 34, I think it said, or
I
is
have
that
to go back
overall
to that slide and see what that the demographic
I'll
is,
look
but
on
I
the
think it's all, afsp.org/statistics for, just because I remember it said on the slide.
Is there any more questions for Ms. Erica?
Has anyone already registered for the walk? Oh, yay!
Everyone has stuff.
I
Anyone else?
There's one back there.
Do we have any more questions for Ms. Erica? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. I'm sorry I can't stay while you're back to work, but
All right, at this time, I am going to call for a 10-minute recess, so please return to your chairs at 2:50. If there's no objections, I'm sorry. Okay, seeing none. Okay, we are going to work our way back to our board meeting. All right, now we have our consent calendar. Okay, so under consent calendar, we have 2022-23-02-91, Stay Pacheco University Committee appointments. 2022-23-02-92, Estella Pacheco, recommendation to the President for University Committee appointments. 2022-23-02-93, Dela Garcia, Estella Pacheco, internal committee appointments. 2022-23-02-94, Aldea Dominguez, Estella Pacheco, faculty senate committee appointments. Are there any objections to the consent? Or are there any other items that need to be moved to consent? All right, seeing none, we're gonna adopt the consent calendar. Now, our new business, we have 2022-23-1274, Pacheco Campbell, resolution in support of single-use plastic policy. Is there a motion? Okay, my apologies. Sorry. We are postponing that item until our March 29th meeting. Okay, and then we're going to go a little bit out of order here, I apologize. 2022-23-02-97, Dela Garcia, operating rule updates to 2000.1 internal committees and work teams. That one is going to also be postponed until March 29th. All right, and then now to our new business. We have 2022-23-02-95, Bulos, Panchal, McDowell, Andaya Dominguez, Budani, allocation of strategic priority funding for 3.3.4, connection with commuters. Is there a motion? Veronica?
I move to approve 2022-23-295, Bolas, Panchal, McDowell, Andrea Dominguez, Budani, allocation of strategic priority funding for 3.3.4, connections with commuters.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Veronica?
So we are doing connections with commuters again for the spring 2023 semester. We have removed the option for T, since a lot of people weren't really using the T last time we did it in the fall semester. So we're going to be sticking with 2 Cambros of hot chocolate, 4 Travelers of medium roast coffee, and 2 oat milk. And then we are going to, basically we're requesting for up to $300 from strategic priority funding for it. And we're going to try to work with Lisa and Emily to see if we can get possibly a place in the parking structure to do it. And we're still looking on the location for it, but we're hoping for the parking structure.
Thank you. Is there any questions or any more discussions on the item? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move to a vote. All in favor of 2022-23-02-95, Bolas, Panchal, McDowell, Andrea Dominguez, Budani, allocation of strategic priority funding for 3.3.4, connections with commuters. Please raise your hand. Okay, you may lower your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Our next item, we have 2022-2302-96, Campbell Budani, allocation of strategic priority funding for 2.1.1, engaging wellness activities / sponsorships / partnerships with the board. Is there a motion? Chris?
I motion to approve 2022-23-296 Campbell Badani allocation of strategic priority funding for 2.1.1 engage in wellness activities, sponsorships, partnerships with the board.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussions? Is there any discussions? Chris?
Per strategic priority 2.1.1, engage in wellness activities, sponsorships, partnerships with the board. We are required to support wellness initiatives. Under this priority, we will be sponsoring the cost of student attendance for up to 10 students at the Science and Practice of Post-Traumatic Growth event on April 29th, 2023, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. The cost per student is $50. This event will feature the works of Sacramento State alumni and professor Dr. Nicole Flynn and showcase MetaHab at Sac State. Dr. Nicole Flynn, founder of MetaHab, is an expert in resilience-focused trauma care and established the Metahabilitation Recovery System. Additional speakers include world-class athlete Charles Clark, and a panel of experts to acquire tools to transform diversity and trauma into strength through the development of resilience, compassion, and post-traumatic growth. The event is in partnership with the Sacramento State College of Health and Human Services and the Sacramento State Center for Health Practice, Policy, and Research in MetaHab at Sacramento State. As a result of attending this event, participants will be able to explain the domains of post-traumatic growth and identify how adversities, challenges, and traumas influence and cultivate survival, adaptation, and post-traumatic growth. Identify and analyze neurological, genetic, and epigenetic and psychological aspects associated with the resilience, trauma, and post-traumatic growth. Discuss and address trauma-related issues faced by a variety of individuals in their professional and personal lives, including healthcare professionals, first responders, athletes, and veterans. List and apply evidence-based content, practices, and behaviors to support the principles and practices of post-traumatic growth. Identify goals for personal and professional success and acquire skills needed to gain and maintain employment in high-demand sectors, including public safety, healthcare, education, STEM, and tech. Event attendees may be eligible for career educational units. Recommendation, the ASI Board of Directors adopt sponsorship for the cost of attendance for up to 10 students at the Science and Practice of Post-Traumatic Growth event at a cost of up to $500. Scholarship will be open to all currently enrolled Sacramento State students. The scholarship pool will encompass applicants who submitted an event interest form. The scholarship interest form will be open March 1st, 2023 and close March 31st, 2023. Final student attendees will be selected randomly from the pool of submitted interest forms in a process overseen by the Associate Dean for the College of Health and Human Services, Dr. Robert Peretti, and the ASI Director of Health and Human Services, Chris Campbell. The selection process will be completed by April 10th, 2023. Impact of legislation. Legislation will pay the attendance costs for up to 10 students for a total sum of $500. $50 per student times 10 students equals $500. Financial impact, allocation of these funds will allocate up to $500 from the Strategic Priority Fund.
Thank you. Is there any questions on the item? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move to a vote. All in favor of 2022-230296, Campbell Budani allocation strategic priority funding for 2.1.1 engage in wellness activities / sponsorships / partnerships with the board, please raise your hand. All right, you may lower your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, seeing none, the item passed unanimously. All right, now we are going to move forward to our next agenda item, which is our ASI executive officers, ex officio, and advisory reports. You have 30 minutes to deliver your report and 1 minute for Q&A. Please, if you absolutely do not have to read your letter to your Hornets, just summarize it, or just invite your Hornets to read it on the website. And for our first report, we have Ms. Selma Pacheco. Are you ready?
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to go through all the things that I've been doing. So, internal committees, I just recently joined City Ambassador, so my first meeting for that would be Thursday. But Lobby Corps is essentially where we get to talk about bills and take stances on them and then bring them forth to the board. So at our February 16th meeting, we talked about AB 35, AB 274, AB 311, SB 25, and then we took action on SB 9. So if you want to read my board report, it will tell you more information about all those. But those were essentially the things that we did at our last meeting. I'm in many university committees, and my board report would be 5 pages long if I wrote all of the updates. So if you have any specific questions for the university committees, please feel free to ask. For strategic priorities, we are exploring a professional clothing drive, which we'd be working with the Triple SP. And so it will be really exciting to see our collaboration with our student success centers on campus. For the Collaborate with the Alumni Association and other campus partners for Speed Networking event will be complete on April 24th with our collaboration with the Career Center and the Alumni Association for an event. So that will be coming up pretty soon. My Engage in Wellness activities, sponsorships, and partnerships has been completed, and then working with campus partners for a COVID-19 and monkeypox safety information educational campaign is in the works. It's a much longer process than we had anticipated, but hopefully we'll see that to fruition. And then I started collaborating with the cultural celebration, which will be complete on March 13th, and we thankfully have dancers and fashion show people, so I'm really, really excited to see what that looks like. Then I have a bunch of ASI meetings. I've met with the governor's office, I've met with Ed Mills, I had a Title IX office meeting. President Nelson, I've met with way too many times in the last couple of months, thankfully, because I really enjoy our conversations. I've met with students at large and college dems. CSSA has been on my agenda for the last 2 months in a very, very short amount of time. But yeah, essentially, if you have any other questions about all of the meetings that I've attended or committees, please feel free to ask.
Thank you. Is there any questions for Sam? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move to the next board report, which I believe is mine. Yes, so, hello. It's a long board report, pretty much full of some meetings, so I'm just going to highlight some of the things that I've done since my last board report that was delivered up until literally today. So one of the ones that I want to just plug in is how heavily ASI is going to start hiring, specifically the Aquatic Center for summer camps and some other positions, whether it's administrative or if you like to be out in the water. I know that in the Aquatic Center Advisory Committee, Brian was really I like to say he was bragging to everybody because he was talking about how there's a specific group of employees that kind of work the morning shift, and they just spend their days in the water. I mean, they learn how to do, what is it? They learn how to drive a boat and stuff like that. So I think, that's a very cool employee opportunity where you're getting paid to have fun, but you're also learning. So I'm just plugging that in just because the Aquatic Center is going to be, along with other ASI departments, are going to be hiring. But the Aquatic Center, I just thought that was really cool because in the morning they hang out. Sometimes they, Brian and Cindy give them like donuts and breakfast, and then, that's a pretty cool job. Another thing I want to highlight is that the strategic priority, the collaborating cultural celebration, that one has been a workload. For anybody coming back to the board next year, if you're planning a big event, please read my transitional report when it comes out, because there's going to be a lot of advice under that even I didn't know up to this day. So just to be prepared, I do want to announce, well, I'll announce this during the announcements, but our event is set to have, our event is going to be on March 13th from 4 to 7, so I'm hoping to see you all there as helping or as volunteering. We can use all the help we can. In my office hours, other than approving agendas and doing the regular EVP duties, I've been picking at my transitional board report because I don't want to forget these things that I'm like still learning, and whoever is going to step into this role, I just would like them to be the most prepared and do what I not necessarily didn't do, but the stuff that I should have probably done better. So there's just a lot of stuff on there. And then another thing that I like to highlight is the panel Q&A for how to run for office. That one was a lot of fun because I was able to reminisce on when I was a college director and when I campaigned online, and then when Salma and I ran on the presidential ticket. So that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of good questions. And that was Tyler's first Q&A, not Q&A, it was like his first event as one of our employees. And then another thing to highlight is the Stinger Expo, which I went with Dravisha, and it was just so nice to see it be a lot bigger than it was. And then a fun classroom presentation with a very kind professor that I did with Lakeside. He was just very sweet, and I have never presented in such a big classroom before, so that one was fun. I can take any questions. Sweet. Our next board report, we have Dravisha. Whenever you're ready.
Yes. Okay, so I just wanted to update my office hours. This is the first board report this semester. My office hours are Tuesdays 12 to 3 p.m. and Thursdays 3 to 4. If you are not available at that time, please feel free to either email me or message me or DM me on Instagram because I respond super fast. I'm just gonna read the last part. The ASI Board of Directors are here to help you, so please do not hesitate to use us as a resource. We are here to guide you in any way possible and can point you in the right direction. Also study hard and don't forget to drink water. And just a cute little take care of yourself. For internal committees, I chaired the ASI Finance and Budget Committee. We met on January 31st and February 14th. We picked a new vice chair, which is Vasily, also EVP designee. We discussed the student employment grant applications and invited the 4 campus programs to speak regarding their late submissions. Next meeting is set up for March 28th. For the ASI Scholarship Committee, I just want to shout out right now, ASI scholarships are open. Please tell everyone, all of your friends to apply. They're due on March 17th at 5 p.m. For university committees, the UEI board had a board retreat on January 6th, which I attended with Salma. The next meeting is set up for March 2nd, 2023. Student Fee Advisory Committee, we met on February 17th for approval of adding an elimination of Category 3 fees, which I served with Gina and AZ and Salma. We have another meeting set up for tomorrow. For Campus Grants Program Committee, it was last semester, however, we did meet on February 7th to discuss the applications for next year and also discuss the membership of the committee. As for my events and calendar, one of few things I want to highlight is me and Sachi went to the Green and Gold Speaker Series by Dr. Shirley Weber. Thank you, Rob, for giving us the chance to ask people to register to vote. And also, we took a picture with Dr. Shirley Weber, and she asked us, like, what do we do, what major, and it was amazing. Then we also had a meeting with Trustee Diego Arambula, which was also amazing because having a private conversation with him and telling him what we want to see in the next president was an amazing chance. I did attend the Stinger Expo, also attended the Presidential Search Forum. I've had one classroom presentation so far. Okay, I've been told I'm running out of time. If you can scroll down, budget remaining for DOC is $51,400. You can glance at my strategic priorities. The money left right now is $33.75, but after the things we approved today, it's $2,575. If you need money, please hit me up. Thank you. Is there any questions for Jerusha? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move to our next board report, which is either Lexa or Natalie. Hold on. Lexa, whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. So my office hours have not changed. It's still Monday and Wednesday, 10 to 12 p.m. For the Wellness, Safety, and Sexual Assault Awareness Committee that I chair, we hosted the Raising Awareness Starts Now, and it was really amazing. We're going to be appointing the vice chair, secretary, and outreach specialist next week when we have our committee meeting. I recently joined the Out of the Darkness Walk Committee, which I forgot to put here, but it's going well. I am going to be writing a legislation to see if we are able to donate $500, especially because this is an amazing cause. I mean, as someone that is Latina, like in our background, it's not really talked about. So this is really important for us to support and also attend. And I'll be sharing more information about that later on. For the Union Well Inc. Board of Directors, we discussed a lot of projects that are going around campus, but the main thing is that the 5K event is coming up April 27th, so they're still looking for volunteers. And the AICP University Committee, we're working on the campus plan and promoting the AICP Symposium. It stands for the Anti-Racism Inclusion Campus Plan. And then for the Police Advisory Council, I didn't attend due to personal commitment, and I was out of town. But for the Sexual Violence Awareness Team, events will be held in March regarding wellness and working on being present on campus. So they'll be holding till Tuesdays, and they will also be having a day of action. So I'll be also working on legislation to that to see how we can get more involved. And yeah, so then for the strategic priorities, I met for the 1.1 Support Dreamer Student Incentives Grant College Core. It won't be feasible for students to be volunteering in ASI departments as of right now. And the College Core application is open and due March 17th. So please promote it and on social media, and flyers were left in each person's box to put on the bulletin board. And I'm currently working on the professional clothing drive. And then the rest are just my meetings.
Is there any questions for Lexa? Easy?
Do you know how we sign up for the 5K?
Lexa?
They have posted it on their Instagram, but you could also find it on their website.
Any other questions on Tyler? Someone?
I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for the 5K, I think the government office has a team already going on for the 5K. I think it's like the G team. I don't know, I would ask the front desk people.
Okay, we have 20 seconds. Is there any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we are going to move it to our next board report, which is Natalie. Natalie, whenever you're ready.
Okay, hi everyone. I forgot to print out my board report, so if Emily you can bear with me, I'm gonna read it off the screen. So my office hours have changed. They're Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Oh, thank you. from 12 to 1:15, and on Wednesday from 12 to 1:30. Just a special note, take care of yourselves. It's flu season or something's going around. I was out for like a month, so take care of yourselves. Internal committee updates. Student Academic Senate had a meeting on February 3rd, and then unfortunately I did have to cancel the last one because I was out sick. So on the first meeting, we went briefly over our priorities and what we're doing for that. And then as a committee, we decided to go to the Presidential Search Forum, and committee members spoke on what they'd like to see in the new university president. So I thought that was amazing that we got to do it together. For university committee updates, faculty senate exec and faculty senate, essentially what we've been doing is just preparing and condensing everything that's coming up for this new semester. The meetings are hybrid, so I was out sick, but I was able to attend on Zoom, which is great. We've been talking about program proposals for all the colleges, committee appointments for the new semester, and a big discussion that we've been having is about the graduate programs and changing the policies within the graduate studies program and just looking at what we can improve in that section. For priorities, I have completed a majority of them. There were the links that we've seen last semester, and then coffee with commuters, the legislation was passed today, so that was the last one that I am on for the semester. And then some quick meetings, events. Some are left out. I did do this pretty fast, but I met with Dr. Mia Settles-Tedwills, and she's amazing. I love her so much. But she did mention to me that if any students were interested in being a part of the Juneteenth delegation that's going to be here next year, 2024, if you're interested in being in the preparation of that, to email her and she can include you in being a part of that. One meeting I'd like to highlight was the meeting with the trustee with Diego. I thought was an amazing opportunity for us to see what we would like to see in the next president, which is rare. We usually don't get to do that. So that was amazing, and the Presidential Search Forum, and just being a part of that process, and our school allowing us to be a part of that process. But yeah, looking forward to the rest of the semester. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you. Is there any questions for Natalie? Thank you. And I apologize for the whispering up here. It looks like it's snowing outside, but it's not. It can't be snowing outside. There's just no way. Melissa, can you confirm it's water, not snow?
It's really cold, but I don't think it's rain. It's probably rain.
All right, it's Sacramento. We're gonna keep it at rain. All right, back to business. We have our next board report. Ms. Gina. And Albert, you are ready.
I have a pretty short report, so I'm just going to jump to really just the titling. I gave a report on summer campus mandatory fees like we had done in the past. We asked various campus mandatory fee holders, I guess is the best way to say that, if they would reduce their summer fee. Once again, this is the 6th year of the ask, and there were a few that did that, so we're trying to reduce the cost of summer classes in the hope that that would trigger more students to use it as a way to make progress, pick up a class, maybe repeat a class where they didn't do so well. So those are another way to incentivize summer courses through money or saving of money. The Student Fee Advisory Committee met. Others have mentioned that. We will be meeting this Friday to hopefully finish up the proposal process, and then we will reconvene in April and early May for the audit. And then finally, the Board of Trustees meeting is coming up in March. I'll probably have a board report before then, but I put the link up there so that you can check the agenda ahead of time. But one key thing that we expect to be coming is that they are looking to vote on making Juneteenth a paid university holiday. That is an exciting addition, and we expect it to be passed at the March board meeting.
Thank you. Is there any questions for Gina? Erin? Microphone, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Gina. Just a question about the Board of Trustees meeting. That's where they approve all the calendar items and have those discussions. Is that correct?
Gina?
Do you mean academic calendar items?
Yes, that's the main spring meeting. Is that correct?
Gina?
It typically is. I know that they have already begun some communication that the folks on campus who determine their academic calendars, because those are done by campus.
Not just non-academic, I'm just curious, that is the main Board of Trustees meeting in the spring. I don't think there are.
They have one every 2 months.
Okay, thank you.
Let's continue to be acknowledged by the chair, please. We have 20 seconds. Chris? Okay, thank you. Now we're going to move to our next board report. Tom, you're up.
Thank you. I first just want to say thank you to everyone for welcoming me onto the board. It's been a very short amount of time that I went from not being on the board to being on the board. So it's quite been exciting. A couple of items just to remind everyone. CARES is moving. They're still on pace. I checked in with them, and as they are moving, they will post. There'll be a few days where they're in both places, but they are on pace to open, be fully over in the health center in March. So that is exciting. Their services will not change. There will just be some slight challenges to where they're at during that move as people are moving. Guardian Scholars is currently actively recruiting students. They're going to be doing large amounts of promotions to increase the awareness of their services for former and current and former foster youth and former unhoused homeless students. They are going to be pushing because they know there's a lot of students that are not accessing their services, so they're going to try and get more awareness of the things that they do for our services, and they're available if anyone wants to tour their facilities or find out more. You can stop by Lassen Hall. They're 2302. Again, I was reiterating the Out of Darkness Walk. The event registration is there. I saw that many hands did go up, so there's still a chance. It's in my board report if you need a link to click on if you didn't grab the QR code. And then the campus has also updated their all-gender restroom map. That's exciting. It's a work in progress. We're building new restrooms as we speak right now. There's one being built in Lassen, and we're going to continue to improve our campus. But it's important to note that these all-gender restrooms, they typically provide a single-stall lockable restroom, and they're great for all individuals. Also, those for our students with families, and for students who may have accessibility needs and maybe have a caretaker that provides them assistance that can help them. So it's a really awesome thing that we're providing for our campus, and we're expanding it, but they did release a new map that is it's kind of cool. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions for Tom? ASI?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I saw a post on LinkedIn regarding the Guardian Scholars Program about something about purchasing a house.
Tom?
That is Project Rebound. That's a different program. Guardian Scholars has a purchased house. Project Rebound has purchased 2 houses that will be providing homes to our previously incarcerated students. So we're excited. That's in process. We don't have access to them being available for students yet, but it is to come and will most likely be in my next board report.
Okay, 20 seconds on that.
I'm just curious to know how SB 9, if that gets passed, how that's going to affect the Guardian Scholars Program, because they're extending the age for Foster Care Act.
That is a great question, and I will ask them, but I do not have that answer available to me at this moment.
Thank you. Now we have our next board report. We have Mark, because Sandra's not here. Mark, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, real quick, first of all, as VPF mentioned, we're really going to be ramping up with the F&B committee for our budgets. So next Tuesday, we have 2 of the department budgets presenting, and then through March, the other departments will be presenting their budget needs for 23-24. So if you have some time available, come by and hear the presentations and ask any questions. This is going to be your time. And also it's going to be coming back to the board too eventually after F&B approves the recommendations for the budget numbers. Also, we're coming through evaluations during the month of February for all the ASI departments, it's kind of nice because you go back and see what they've done in the prior year and covered that with the employee. But you also go and do some planning, personal planning with them going forward, what they want to achieve in 23 calendar year for some of the goals we set up. So it's an important document, and then we review it mid-year to see how things are coming. The other thing on there is we did have a Union Well board meeting last Wednesday and to approve their taxes, their 990 and 980T. ASI's taxes are being reviewed by Keiko right now, and Keiko's our auditor. This is our last event for us, and then we'll be going to CLA. So once ASI gets theirs approved, we'll be posting those out to the website, and Lisa will let everybody know. And I guess I'll just add, my office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to roughly 5 to 6. So drop on by, say hi, no appointment necessary. Chair?
Thank you, Mark. Is there any questions? All right. Seeing none, we're going to move to our next board report. Miguel, whenever you are ready.
Hello everyone, and hello constituents, how are you? So, this is my first board report. I would just like to preface that my office hours are right there, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm available in the office from 1:30 to 5, unless it is a Thursday with a lobby core. It'll be until 5:45, and Friday I'll be here 10 to 2. Since the beginning of the semester, I've had 2 CSSA plenary meetings. One of them was hosted at CSU San Jose from January 28 to 29. The main highlights of the plenary were centered on approving the recommendation for the CSSA to follow the framework of the Higher Education Student Coalition Convening Report, updates to the Chancellor's search, the final application and review process for the 2023 to 2025 student trustee position, CSSA budgets and finances, and other issues that you can find in my January plenary report, which I hope you all have been reading. The next CSSA was held 2 weeks later. It gave me a little bit of a break, but not quite one that I would have liked. It was held in February 11th over Zoom. And this plenary essentially focused on approving the 2022 to 2023 mid-year budget that was recommended in the last plenary meeting, selecting the recipient for the 2022 to 2023 Legislator of the Year Award, dissolving a resolution and dissenting opinion policy from the Internal Affairs Committee, and some further discussion regarding the student participation in policy development policies. And also taking stances of support on the following bills: AB 35, AB 274, AB 311, SB 25, and SB 245. And I did send out an email before this meeting started on my plenary report, so if you want to know more information about those bills, feel free to look them over. My lobby corps meeting has met, not my lobby corps meeting, the lobby corps meeting has met twice since the start of the semester. Essentially, the first meeting was held on February 2nd, where we had updates on student points of interest from students, and some of these were support for the ASI DACA resolution. There were some concerns on SB 11, and as well as supporting the ASI timely MD resolution. SB 9 was also introduced and discussed during the meeting, which, as Solomon previously stated, would raise the age for voluntary extended foster care from 21 to 26. The next lobby corps meeting was held on the 16th, where we also discussed 30 seconds. AB 35 to 74, 311, and SB 25. Everything that you need to know about those bills is up there, so if you want to see them, feel free to look through that report. And then for my work here at the OGA office, I've been writing reports for the CSSA plenary. I've been helping the board out. I've been working with Sidra, Nikita, and the OGA team and helping out to plan like chess and advocacy day. I've been grading the chess applications. And if you need any more information or have any more questions, please email me.
Or ask questions right now, Salma.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Miguel?
No. But thank you for asking.
Amazing. Any more questions? You're so funny, Miguel. All right. We have our next board report. This board report, Rob, you have 1 minute and 30? Okay. You have half of 3 minutes and 30 seconds. It is 1.
Just scroll down.
Okay, cool. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, right there. Keep going. Okay, there. Okay, so as you know, the Anti-Racism Inclusive Campus Plan Symposium is coming on March 28th. We are hosting Spark Session information and concept development meetings, which we hope to begin next week, or the week of 2/27, which I believe is next week, via Zoom, where representatives from Inclusive Excellence will be on the call to provide presentation guidelines, answer questions, and assist you with determining how your next great idea aligns with this symposium opportunity. So please, come one, come all. Every idea is welcome. Also, to sign up to attend the information session, there is a link to the interest form in my report. But folks in general, our partners, will be sending out information via their networks as well. Keep going down. Yes. Go back up. Perfect. Okay. The Inclusive Excellence Consultation and Support Request Form for any campus members, it has been released. It's on our Inclusive Excellence website. And this is a form to request for the entire campus community any support, whether it be applying DEI, marketing communication strategies, assessing current efforts to implement the AICAP goals in your area, creating diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice toolkits, conducting cultural assessments, trainings.
Thank you, Rob.
The list goes on.
Lisa? Oh, sorry. 30 seconds. Lisa?
Rob, as I recall, the Spark interest form was available on your website earlier this year, and you were encouraging students to do that. Do you have an idea about how many forms you received?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you, Chair. That's a great question. As of today, I believe that I have about 100, which is up from 40 over the last week. So it seems like the information is getting out and folks are interested.
Awesome. All right. Now that's it. All right. So we're going to move to our next portion, which is announcements. Does anybody have any announcements? Oh, so many. Mark, I saw your hand up. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. By a show of hands, how many of you are planning to walk through the stage at graduation ceremony in the spring here? Okay. This is especially for you, but it's for everybody. Okay, GradFest. GradFest is Tuesday, March 7th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Wednesday, March 8th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Do you know where it's at? It's in the second floor of the bookstore. First time it's up there, but apparently they're going to have everything up there. So check it out. Even if you're not graduating, put it on your calendars and go see the GradFest.
Awesome. Gina?
I happen to be in the know about the Project Rebound houses, so since there was a question, I thought I would share a little bit. And there was an article written recently that went out to like the Sac State Leader or something, so none of this is super new, but there were two houses purchased. They're generally in the La Rib area, so they're very near to campus. Good for accessible transportation, even if it's a short distance. You can bike on the bike trail if it's safe to do so. And or, a little bit of a long walk. There will be two houses. They will be initially identified as male-female houses. One will be available before the other one will. I'm not certain which one is going to be first. They are in the process of doing any upgrades or fixes and things like that need to happen in a house when you purchase them, as well as getting the furniture and so forth. So they think the first house will be available for move-in mid to late March. So it's really actually very close. And I think that might be the male house, but I can't remember. And there will be 4 folks, I think it's 4, that will live in each, so they will be able to house 8 Project Rebound students. And they will be able to have meetings and resources and study and other kinds of things in those houses. They're structured in a way that they would come together, they're walkable to each other, and so they can have those meetings and provide the support for the student groups. I don't know that you all know, but UEI is our real estate arm for the university. So UEI actually purchased the houses and will be the project managers or the house managers in terms of running the houses. And that's kind of it in terms of Project Rebound. I have 2 other things I want to give you updates on. can I ask for questions on Project Rebound?
Is there any questions on Project Rebound? Sama?
Do you know how many students are in Project Rebound?
Do you know?
I think, I don't know that this is a good number, but I think I just read in that article, it's something like 40 to 50 at any given time. Although I think we have more formally incarcerated students, but Project Rebound, they self-identify into the program and get the support needed from the program, so thanks. Tom's giving me the thumbs up, so I'm not running off with those answers. But the ones that are actively involved in Project Rebound, 40 to 50 students.
Okay.
More of a, is a comment okay that's related to?
Sure.
Just the Project Rebound is connected to our TOPS program, which is under undergraduate studies, and so TOPS is our undergraduate degree program in the Folsom State Prison as well as Mule Creek Prison, and so when these formerly incarcerated students are released, they tend to feed into the Project Rebound.
I didn't know that. That is good to know. Thank you. Did you have two other announcements, right? Go for it.
Two other announcements, and it occurred to me that this is probably something I should build into my board report, so I'm going to note to do that. Is because I'm in that division, we have some information on some current upcoming construction, and sometimes when you're around campus and see things, you wonder, I wonder what's going on with that, when's going to be done, and so forth. So two things. First off, this one isn't on campus, it's off campus, but related, UEI is building faculty and staff housing across the Guy West Bridge. It's actually ahead of schedule and is expected to break ground in March. So they'll start that with the hopes of having it ready as early as fall 2024. I don't think fall is, I don't think it'll go up that quickly. I think that's just a few months. It'll have 30 units. It's meant for transitional housing, isn't quite the right word, but housing for faculty and staff to be in while they identify where they want to live and establish themselves in the positions and so forth. So that's pretty exciting for our university because recruiting and retaining talented faculty and staff is very difficult, and this is one of the reasons why, because it's expensive to live in California. The other thing is that we have continued student seating for study and for classrooms. Going in, you've been seeing the ones with the kind of the light colored wood pergolas. Those are mostly complete. They're waiting on some of the furniture that goes on those. Those all do have power though. Just to note for devices. They do shut off at 5 o'clock so that the power does, just so that we don't get folks who try to live there, because we want to keep everyone safe. The other thing is that we have one going in at the outdoor theater. We have one also going out in the Cerna Plaza amphitheater-y kind of area. And we're going to put some covering over the seating that's outside the Shannon complex. So you're going to start to see activity, if you aren't already, as they begin to build those out and make those areas where students can congregate and study. And again, most of them will be powered so that you can add devices. We do hope also that our faculty consider moving classrooms outside as appropriate in order to just take advantage of the space and being able to have some open air opportunities.
That's awesome. I remember in elementary school having class outside, and it was the best day ever. So that would be amazing to have at university level. Rob. That just reminded me. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
I just wanted to announce to just keep our focus on your inboxes, because like I was saying before about the Spark sessions, but we have feedback panels that are being developed, and we're inviting all of the directors and the executive and board associate and the ex officios to come and sit and be a panelist if they have the time and prerogative to provide their expertise and feedback to the students. Of course, I would love you to actually do a pitch, but that's up to you. Thank you.
Thank you. AZ? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, AZ.
This is a quick announcement. The Aquatic Center has free rental days, so just keep your eye out for when those are.
Thank you. And somebody, Jerusha?
So I want to briefly go through all the scholarships that are open right now. When I say ASI scholarship, it's not only one. There are 6 different kinds, and I usually don't mention them, and it just came to me that I should. So we have the generalized ASI scholarship that anyone can apply. We have the United States Armed Force for veterans. We have that scholarship. We have the ASI Dreamers Scholarship. We have the ASI Social Justice Scholarship. We have the ASI Students with Disability Scholarship. And this is spring semester only. We have the ASI Director Scholarship, where each director gets to give a scholarship to a student from their constituency. So if you have any questions or if you want to read about it in more detail, you can definitely go to the ASI website and click on scholarship, and you can get like a whole verbiage on it. But this is just a quick glance on what kind of scholarships are open right now. So if you know anyone who falls in any of these different, who qualifies for any of these different scholarships, please forward it to them, just so everyone gets a chance to get a scholarship. And that's about it. Also, as of right now, we have $75 left in the priority fund after what we approved today. According to the talks that I've been having with other members and the emails that I've received, I'm projecting there's only going to be $25 left by the end of this month. I do want to make sure that we are having a conversation to make sure that our new board members who just have entered the board also have enough money left to do what they want within the priorities. So let's have a conversation together. Let me know other people who I haven't heard a lot from if you need the money, so we can work some things out. And that's about it. Lisa?
Thank you. Since Sandra had to step out for the meeting with the Chancellor's office, I just wanted to make the announcement that elections are open right now. Applications tonight at 5 p.m. is the first mandatory candidate workshop. As a reminder for everyone, every student who's interested in running for elections must complete a written application. Also attend one mandatory candidate workshop. There's another one that will be offered on Friday. The last one will be offered next week, so if you're not able for some reason to make any of the times that are scheduled, which are quite varied, you want to reach out to myself and Sandra today. Her calendar's fairly busy, and I'm not sure that we're going to have time to schedule any makeup sessions, but she would make accommodations if she knew about it right away, if possible. And I encourage you all to come into the office or reach out to our elections officer, Tyler Gardner, if you have any questions. Thank you. Oh, sorry, they're all due on March 10th by 4 p.m.
Lexa?
Is there, I think there's a question. Is that a question?
Oh, sorry.
Question. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for letting me know, Chris. It sounds like that information went out to students. However, as faculty, I don't know if faculty know this. It would be great if that information could be sent out to faculty to let students know. I share stuff with my department, so just a thought.
Lisa?
Thanks for that, Sharon. Actually, we did send out a message to every dean and associate dean, so I'd really encourage you to talk to your folks to share that out. I know some colleges have received messages. I actually did a little inquiry of a variety of different colleges, and it sounds like only a few colleges have shared it so far. We did include it also in the Monday briefing 2 weeks ago, and it will be again in the Monday briefing on Monday. But please, thank you, and thanks for asking, because I really encourage you to talk to them and ask them to share it out. This is representative for your college as well as every other college, and it is super valuable.
Thank you. Lexa?
So there's a lot of tabling opportunities this semester, so I'll be sending out an email to everyone. Please reply to it. Please let me know right away that you won't be able to table if that's the case. And also remember that you're a student. There's a lot of stuff going on in society right now. And when it comes to, mental health and being a college student, I know that it can be hard, but try to balance that very well because, you're in college once. And you're a student, you deserve to be able to just go home and relax and not just have to worry about things going on. I do want to mention that there is, the Biden administration did mention something about asylum seekers. So it's something that basically would mean that people that are seeking asylum are not able to seek anymore. So if people are coming from Mexico or other places and go to the border and would like to ask for a Salem, that might be changing. So just, there's a lot of things going on in society, so be kind to one another because we don't know what one another are facing. But yeah.
I want to echo with not just society, but it is midterms. And midterms is a time when stress is upon you in ways that it isn't when it's not midterms. It's a final, so make sure that you take care of yourself as you have tests and exams and whatnot too. I just was going off on that aspect of stress and take care of yourselves, but I wanted to announce, just if you didn't see, the Vice President of Student Affairs Office released a video today about the APITA Center opening and the MLK Center grand reopening. Yeah, reopening. Sorry, I want to make sure the words, because they've already been open, but they remodeled a little bit. That is February 28th, next week. The APITA Center is 9 to 11:30, and then the MLK Center is 12 to 1:30. Those are just the reopening ceremonies, but there are a ton of activities throughout that day that are going to be awesome. Marches, breakfast, all sorts of stuff. So check it out, watch the video. It's pretty cool and a pretty exciting time because it's been a long time coming for those centers to be solidified and open again.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Miguel?
Are you interested in running for the 2023-2024 CSSA Executive Officer elections? Great. Candidate materials are available on the CSSA website. If you are interested, please see me. The deadline for this is March 17 at 5 p.m. I know y'all are in ASI already, and I know y'all have a lot on your plates already, but I just figured I'd say it for the record for our constituents out there. If you're interested, please see me. I gotta get my train of thought. There was the legislative introduction deadline was last Friday, February 17th for the legislature. So all of the bills that we see that are currently going on, that's what's on there, if that makes sense. Like there will be no more introduced. So the CSSA will be having a special legislative affairs meeting on February 26th on 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So we'll be going over essentially what bills did get introduced and which ones we'll be moving forward with. And the City Ambassadors meeting will be happening at the Capitol Room on the 3rd floor of the Union from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Please read my plenaries, I beg you, and take care of yourselves. Thank you.
Lisa?
Were you going to read the announcement that I sent to you? Or should I read it?
Please read it.
Thanks, Miguel. I appreciate you passing the mic to me. So, Chess 23 is coming up. Thank you to all the board members who requested to be registered. There was quite a large number of you. Just for clarification for all of you, if you did request to be registered, you should have received an email to your positional account, and you would have been suggested to sign up on an app called Whova. And Whova has all the information about all the different stuff, but it actually has so much extra information, as pointed out by a board member. Just so y'all know, you were all registered for the chess conference, which is on Sunday from 9:30 until 7 p.m. Just Miguel and Sama will be attending the plenary on Saturday, the day before. But everyone in this room is invited to attend our optional chess reception, which will be on Saturday evening from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. in the Cottonwood Suite. Our civic engagement coordinator, Nikita, is planning that. And that will be a great opportunity for networking and some appetizers and a lot of fun. And then on Monday, you should have received an email from Sidra asking if you signed up for chess to ask if you want to attend Advocacy Day. That's also an optional event for all of you that signed up for chess. And she asked if you could let her know if you, one, are able to attend and interested, and if so, let her know what hours you're available, because she'll be scheduling the appointments with our legislators. So thank you so much, and if you have any more questions, reach out to Nikita, myself, or Miguel. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other announcements? Chris?
Our Housing's first food committee meeting of this semester, or work group this semester, is next Thursday. So if you're interested in coming, let me know. We don't have a specific time yet. We're still working on it due to some scheduling conflicts with our partners at ASI and Airmark, but I will bring that out to y'all. As well as, I thought I'd announce, just as kind of a stress relieving activity, we are decorating cookies tomorrow. So if you guys want to come out to the Elderberry and Beetle Big Room in Housing, we are decorating cookies from 5:30 to 7:30. And yeah, you know, come decorate a cookie and hopefully relieve stress. I know baking and decorating can somewhat be stressful, but it's fun, I promise. They're all pre-baked, so come on out, let me know, and I will, if you're interested in the food committee meeting, let me know, and I'll send you that information.
Awesome, thank you. Is there any other announcements?
Is it a question? No.
Emma?
Oh, wait, is it what?
It's my announcement.
Oh, let me go over first.
Then you can close it out. Any other announcements? All right, so that's awesome that you guys are using the WOBA app for chess. I'll just very shamefully plug in that for ACP conference journalism that I used to go to, they use that app, and there's a little leaderboard, and that's a good way to pre-network before chess. And I will tell you from 2 years experience that when you start and you get your little points, you're right at the top, and people get competitive, and that's a good way to put a face to the name, and then you look for those people. So I encourage you guys to be competitive on that app and just talk to everybody, because that's how it's oh, hey, this is, I don't know, maybe Samuel Pacheco, the ASI president, and I am here. And then it's people recognize you when you're there. So this is just a little tip just based off of personal experience with the WOBA app. Now, for ASI-related stuff, please review your legislation items before board meetings, because you guys should all know what is going on. There are some questions that I feel could be, not questions, but there are some things that could be touched upon via email, one-on-one with the person or the author of that legislation. It's good to bring them on here, but just please make sure to be reviewing those. Director scholarships, Dervish mentioned, so that one's checked off. I'm going to ask all of you to please block off March 13th from 4 to 7. Not that all that time, but if you have any time in between that time slot, 4 to 7, please block it off. We are going to need a lot of help, all hands on deck for the cultural fair, whether that's either setting up, cleaning up, being a floater, just directing people, giving out goodie bags, checking people in. We are going to need help. So again, that is March 13th from anytime 4 to 7. Please let Veronica, myself, or Selma know. Ideally, just Veronica and myself, just because we're in that strategic priority. Advocacy Day, like Lisa had mentioned, now there's a couple of you attending and you all emailed me. Some of you emailed me that this is happening during your office hours. So I just want to put out there, if anybody's planning on going, make sure you communicate with the responsible parties. But if this is happening during your office hours, please let me know. So if you are going, send me an email saying, I plan on going. My office hours are from this time to this time. I would like to make them up from this time to this time, and they have to happen that same week. So if you are going, please just communicate with me if it's happening during your office hours. If not, then don't worry about it too much, but make sure to communicate with Sidra. On that note, you are responsible for communicating with me as your accountability person. So if there's, I don't know, I can't even think of an example. If there's anything pertaining to either you missing something or being absent, you need to communicate it with me and with me only, okay? Because that is in my operating rules, which I invite you to read. That is in my operating rules. I'm kind of in charge of you all. So just please, if there's something going on, communicate it with me as your executive vice president. I also want to say March 1st, we are going to have a little bonding day. So there is these little forms that we are going to be handing out, and I am going to ask that you fill them out. And I am going to ask that you utilize your mailboxes. Once you're done filling it out, put it in Lisa's mailbox. So I'm making sure, I'm pretty sure. When you're done filling it out, please put it in Lisa's mailbox and make sure to be checking your own mailbox to post stuff on your bulletin boards, and just make sure you stay on track with any other announcements that are just maybe not going to your email, which that never happens because everything goes to your email. And check your email, please. Salma, your turn.
I just want to preface, Veronica, do you have a question? Veronica? If you're allowed.
Veronica?
Okay, I just want to make a comment real quick about something you mentioned about the event. If we are still really needing people for the fashion show, right now we have 18 people, which is good, but we do need a lot more. So if you guys know anyone, I think we've kind of realized that like word of mouth has worked a lot better with like advertising than just like putting a bunch of flyers out. So we will do both, but if you guys know anyone or that would be interested at all, please just let them know, and we'll pass around the forms again, just to make sure everyone has them, unless, you know, in case you like run into someone that would be interested or you know anyone. Thank you. That was it.
Excuse me, Sana?
I just want to preface, thank you for the comedic relief at the end of this board meeting. I appreciate all of your guys' humor. But also, I always say this, but I really, really want to reiterate this. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. I mean, I know that I had to step out of the room because I got emotional. And I just want to let you know that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to be overwhelmed. We're human, and if you need extra support, then come and talk to us. Remember, we're here to work as a team, and we're here to support one another, so that's what we're going to be doing. Midterms, I already had my first midterm, and I was already stressed. So it's been a very lovely week already. But you all have this. We're almost done. I know that sounds really scary for those that just joined the board, but everyone say hi to Justin. Welcome him to the board when you see him in office hours. This is a really lovely group for you to be a part of, and I'm really, really excited for you. But yeah, everyone have a good rest of your day. I am done with my... Oh, and I'm not done with my day. We have an executive committee meeting at the conclusion of this board meeting. That's it.
Awesome. If there are no more announcements, I am going to adjourn this meeting at 3:55.